here representing the Publish What You Pay Coalition Zimbabwe. I'm going to make a few comments, especially on how this research will and also influence a number of reforms that are actually impacted by the issue. I don't want to say much about how actually corruption has really impacted the mining sector, as this has been alluded to by the speaker, the first speaker. But just to point out that actually, from our point of view as Publish What You Pay, corruption actually deprives the fiscus of potential of revenue. I think on that number of initiatives that we are running was the issue to do with the contract transparency. And as a coalition, we are actually advocating for transparency of the contracts, the mining contracts. You find that actually the issue of corruption, it really starts, it is there across the whole mining value chain, but it really starts at the contracting stage. And that's where we are actually losing it as a nation, as Zimbabwe. And you asked us on what will actually stop Zimbabwe from achieving the 12 billion mining strategy. And this is one of the issues that will actually stop us. I think there are a number of mining deals, there are a number of new companies that are starting to invest mining. I'm currently in Zhishavane, and there's a lot that has been coming out about, just seeing new companies in the area starting to mine. And we don't even know, the Rural District Council, they are not aware of that company. And we don't even know about the deals, about the contracts. And this is where we are losing it. And this is where corruption actually is really rampant, because they are not open, out in the open, and we do not really know what is happening. And you find that most of the issues that we are crying about, the negative impacts that we are finding in the mining sector, they are actually stemming from the issue to do with the contracting of the mining companies, because no one is there to hold them to account of their actions. That's why we really see everywhere the issue to do with environmental degradation, the negative impacts of mining, because no one is there to hold them to account. We do not know what is in the contracts. And one of the recommendations that were given by Doc when he was presenting about the report on corruption was the issue to do with government monitoring. On that, I think it's not only government who is supposed to monitor, but we should also have civil society. We should also have the communities actually who are staying who are residing in the areas where mining is taking place, to also to hold to account and to monitor these activities by the mining companies. And you'll find that one such tool that they use to monitor is the environmental impact assessment. And this is not easily accessible to the communities. And on that, I would want to mention the issue to do with accessibility of information, or access to information by both the general citizenry of Zimbabwe, the communities, and also the civil society organizations, to be able to monitor and to hold to account both government and the mining companies. And on this, I would want to just talk briefly about the issue to do with EITI. Tafadzwa has touched on it a bit, but from my point of view, you find that the EITI standard, by which information, it is a standard by which information on oil and gas and mining industry is published. And a point worth emphasizing is that EITI, among other transparency and accountability initiatives, it was not born out of a concern about these non-revenue impacts of resource extraction, but it was about the concerns about lack of transparency in how governments collect and handle revenue from extractive activities, which gave rise to calls for better principles and systems and institutions to promote transparency and accountability. So actually, this report will also help us to influence and also continue to push for adoption of transparency and accountability in Zimbabwe. But it's not only EIT. I think there are other initiatives that we do have in the country, which actually can do away with issues of corruption and also promote revenue transparency. And recently in Zimbabwe, I think through statutory instrument, I think that was 134 of 2019, which makes it mandatory for all companies listed on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange to disclose environmental, social, and governance information. And we also have the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange. And this is also another opportunity that we would also want as Publish What You Pay to campaign on or to run with on issues to promote transparency and accountability. And this could also help in fighting issues to do with corruption. I think we also talked about the artisanal small scale mining sector. I think this is one sector that is really where we are seeing most of the corrupt activities also taking place. Also considering that for us to achieve the 12 billion mining strategy, it's not only the big mining companies that are supposed to contribute, but I, as a general citizen of Zimbabwe, the artisanal miners, the small scale miners also have a role to play for us to achieve the 12 billion mining strategy. But one point is that once we say the artisanal mining activities are illegal, then it becomes a hindrance to the issue to do with achieving the 12 billion mining strategy. And this also offers an opportunity for corrupt activities to happen in the mining sector. And there are a number of corrupt and criminal activities that are happening because of the status where we say artisanal mining is illegal in Zimbabwe. And with that, I think to curb such problems, we need to formalize the sector. And one thing that will also address that is the Mines and Minerals Amendment Bill. And you find that as a recommendation, I think the formalization of the Mines and Minerals Amendment Bill is not really clear on whether the process is going forward or not. And the bill can also be used as an opportunity to legislate and regulate artisanal mining by including a definition of artisanal mining and provisions on organizing them and giving them a permit. And currently the bill, it only refers small scale miners. So once we miners, then I don't to deal with issues of corruption. They will actually continue with most of them accumulating some criminal activities, which will also have a very huge and negative impact, resulting in issues to do with the violence that we are seeing, and also issues of theft and other things that are happening in the sector. And then I think one issue that we can talk about to also address issues to do with corruption in the mining sector, it is important for government to also institute the responsible sourcing and mining policy and then administrative reforms and practices in the artisanal small-scale mining sector to ensure traceability of minerals, especially gold. And as Publish What You Pay, we are calling for issues to do with transparency and accountability in the mining sector, including the artisanal small-scale mining sector. And also, this will help with issues of transparency as we ensure the traceability of minerals of gold actually in the mining sector. And it will also enable the miners, that is the artisanal miners and the large scale miners, custom millers, the gold buyers, dealers, fidelity printers, and other export agencies to identify all actors along the gold supply chain and their sources of gold or to check if the actors are not contributing to fueling issues of conflicts and disputes in the artisanal small-scale mining sector. So there's need for due diligence measures to be taken by these actors in line with the OECD due diligence guidance on responsible sourcing of minerals. I think from my side, this is what I'll have to contribute. Thank you.